Misfit of Demon Academy begins with a competitor magical student called Misha arriving at the institution and meeting Onos. Together, they enter inside with the other students, where they commence the practice test one by one. They meet Zeeps at the gate but ignore him. Onos effortlessly wins his fight against Zeeps and continuously brings his opponent back to life with a resurrection spell, something he calls the 3-second rule. After taking a role in the aptitude test, Onos invites Misha back to his house, where he reveals the good news that he got into the academy. Misha meets with Onos' father and mother. His mother thinks that there is something going on between the two. After a meal to celebrate, the duo heads out under the moonlit sky. They are speaking to each other when Demon Lord Leog approaches out of the shadows and confronts Onos. After the incident involving his brother Zeeps earlier in the episode, he is out for revenge and determined to put Onos in his place. Unfortunately, things go awry, and Onos walks away unscathed after a brilliant display of magic. He says the founder is back, he utters, allowing a wry smile to cross his lips. Demon King Onos agrees to join forces with Hero Kanon and surrender himself for peace. He puts his trust in the hero and allows the mortal to plunge his sword deep into his chest. Closing his eyes for a few seconds, when Onos awakens, he finds himself taking the form of a baby able to speak coherently to his parents. In the present, Onos is cast as the misfit at the academy, determined to prove them wrong. Onos shows off his incredible power in front of his dumbfounded teacher Emilia Rudwell. Sasha is the self-declared witch of destruction. She challenges Onos to the battle. She works opposite him. Unfortunately, all of their classmates decide to join Sasha over Onos, and the only one willing to stick with him is Sasha's sister, Misha. This does not go down too well with Sasha, who eventually challenges Onos to a duel outside class. A week passes, and the competition begins, with the winner declared as the person able to maintain Jais the longest or knock out the opposite king. Onos makes light work of his opponents, barely breaking a sweat as he destroys Sasha's castle, and overcomes all of her classmates with a single blast of fire from his finger. Sasha is initially angry at what transpired but eventually comes around to their agreement and agrees to work with him. Just before they leave and head back to his house for food, Onos tells Sasha she possesses a lot of power, evident from the glint in her eye he noticed earlier. At the academy in the morning, Misha and Sasha sit with Onos because they are learning from one of the 7 great elder demon emperors delivering them a lesson. Specifically, that falls to Lord Ibis. This skull-faced man arrives moments after the teacher tells Onos to mind his manners. He does not do so and realizes that Ibis has lost his memories. The matter is resolved, the lesson begins, and the class focuses on fusion magic. In the wake of this, Onos and Ibis discuss how time has been rewritten, so everyone has forgotten. Later that day, Sasha speaks to Onos about the staff buried deep underground. Onos smirks, telling them this is his castle. He wants to get the team back for himself, so he moves through a secret passageway underground. He leads Misha and Sasha down to a dungeon used as a catalyst for magic. Sasha and Misha go on ahead, and Sasha's true intentions are revealed. Misha was slumped against the ground, a large gash running down her chest. Sasha betrays them both and takes the staff for herself. She conjures spells to nullify Onos, but he is one step ahead of Sasha and heals Misha before she can make her move. Misha reveals that she never existed in this world in the first place. When Sasha was a fetus, Ibis split her into 2 babies so that when they turned 15, they would fuse back into a single demon. Onos meets with Sasha, who reveals that she is doing all of this to save Misha. She is creating a spell to let Misha live while she disappears. The spell will only work when Misha rejects her, and that is why Sasha always treats her poorly. However, Misha refuses, so they tearfully wait for Misha to disappear. But Onos reveals that if he sends them back in time, they can fuse their half-sources from fetuses, so they will be born with complete sources as true twin sisters. Suddenly, Ibis crashes from the roof and stabs Onos. He reveals that he plans to use their fused body to host the true reincarnated Demon King. Onos grabs the demon sword and throws it toward Ibis, incapacitating him. He then activates Rivide to send them back, and Hugo Laravias, the Keeper of Time, blocks them. Ibis and Hugo fuse together, and they kill Onos. However, Onos resurrects using Ingol and reveals that he has enough power even to defy a god. He then sends the twins to the past to fuse with their unborn selves and summons Venusdanoa to destroy Ibis. Afterward, Onos resurrects Ibis, who discovers he is fused with a third, unknown source. He returns all of Ibis' unaltered memories and suggests that someone working for Avos Dilhevia had taken Ibis. Sasha and Misha return, now as true sisters with separate sources. Despite saving Misha and altering the past, Onos decides to return his scepter to get a perfect score for the exam. 2,000 years ago, Onos and his subordinates invaded the Great Spirit Forest Aharthern in order to find the Great Spirit Reno. Onos' right-hand man, Shin Regalia, won a bet with Onos by defeating the Great Water Spirit Linyan with one blow, obtaining his permission to reincarnate. When Kanon appeared, Onos ordered Shin to find Reno while he dealt with Kanon. In the present, Emilia announces that a royal student famous for his sword skills is transferring to the school. The teacher deducts the numbers of the Onos team because of the stolen sword. Misa argues with the teacher for unfair behavior. After class, Misa meets with Onos and tells him about the Unitarians, whose goal is to form a fair society instead of one where royalty can abuse hybrids. Onos is fascinated to discover that Melhaze Boran, another elder demon emperor, is a Unitarian. Onos also learns that Misa's father is royal. Onos decides to let Misa and her Unitarian classmates join his team if they prove themselves. In the Demon's Sword lesson, Lei and Onos are powered to wield the Demon's Sword. Lei asks to join Onos' teams, but he asks Lei and Misa to challenge him in the next battle. In the exam, Misha and Sasha defeat Misa and the Onos fan union. Onos holds his own against Lei using just a tree branch, while Lei remembers having dueled Onos before. Onos finally claims victory and becomes convinced that Lei is Shin's reincarnation. Lei promises to defeat Onos in their next duel. After the duel, Onos invites Lei and Misa to his home for dinner alongside Sasha and Misha. There, he welcomes them to his team while his parents enthusiastically celebrate his victory. After dinner, Isabella and Gusta tell the Necron sisters about Onos' difficult birth, and the reason why they support everything he does. Outside, Lei asks Misa if she is feeling well, as he hears that half-spirit, half-demons do not live long. The next day, Emilia announces that 2 students have been chosen as competitors for the Magic Sword Tournament, Lei and Onos. Onos suspects there is some ulterior motive. Later, Onos meets Melhaze Boran, one of the 7 Elder Demon Emperors, who claims that while his memories were erased, he is confident Onos is the Demon King of Tyranny. He remembers escaping to the Great Spirit Forest, but cannot return to Dilate due to the walls. To thank Misha for making his favorite dish for dinner, Onos takes her on an outing the next day. After making magic models, they visit a cat cafe and meet with Ibis, who is using the disguise of a cat. He tells Onos that someone above Melhaze is actually in control of the Unitarians. On the tournament day, Ibis tells Onos some more information he has uncovered. As such, Onos decides not to participate. However, after he realizes how much his parents believe in him, Onos changes his mind and takes on the tournament's previous winner, Krut Ludowel. Onos easily defeats Krut Ludowel, angering his sister Emilia. Lei wins his match and announces his association with a royalist organization. Backstage, Onos and Lei confront each other when Onos notices that Lei is held hostage by a contractual demon sword. After he wins his next match, Onos gives his mother his sword. Onos and Misa then head to the Lognorth Magic Hospital, where they meet Sheila Gransley, Lei's adoptive mother, who has spirit disease. She talks about Lei's past and reveals that the royalists are controlling him. To help Sheila, Onos creates a new magic spell, and Misa volunteers to use it. Meanwhile, Emilia confronts Onos' mother and the Onos fan union to steal Onos' sword in order to disqualify him. She attacks them with Galzora, but the fan union uses magic to protect Isabella at the cost of getting harshly burned. When Onos arrives, he paralyzes Emilia and casts Scent to heal all the girls and his mother. Afterward, he angrily teleports Emilia to the arena, where he stabs her and humiliates her. He then kills her. He immediately employs Ajeb to try to revive her as a hybrid in order to gain a new perspective on this country. He also curses her so that she will always be resurrected as a hybrid when she dies. Back at the hospital, Lei stops Misa to protect her life force. He then has a conversation with his adoptive mother. Lei leaves before Onos can return. The next day, Onos and Lei face each other in the finals. Melhaze then reveals himself as the mastermind behind the tournament. He summons Gaos and Idal to fight Onos, but Lei reappears and beheads both Elder Demon Emperors, and he does not die. Melhaze reveals that he has Sheila hostage, causing Lei to jump after her to another dimension. Melhaze attacks Onos and Lei with Beno Yevon. Onos uses magical powers to protect both places. Lei uses his mother's spirit sword and scratches his face with the sword slash. Onos repelled all of Melhaze's attacks and used Venusdanoa to pierce into his skull, destroying the device inside of him. Onos also summons the Elder Demon Emperors, allowing Onos to separate their sources from the sources that were controlling them. When Onos tries to revive the latter to extract information about Avos Dilhevia, an unknown figure appears to destroy them after breaking into the Dimension Prison. After the figure leaves, Onos instructs Melhaze to resurrect Gaos and Idal and undo the Dimension Prison so they can return to the real world. After healing Lei, Anos resurrects Sheila, revealing that her true form was a sword, and the two embrace each other. After the Magic Sword Tournament, Anos and the other students visit Asian in the human realm for an educational exchange with the Hero Academy. While they individually explore the city, Anos heads to the Hero Academy saying that he wants to research something. The academy is off limits to outsiders, but he tries to make his way inside without hesitation. Eleanor Bianca, after learning their motives, offers to show them the academy library. There Eleanor claimed that Canon was the one who erected the walls that divided the 4 areas 2,000 years ago. This strikes a nerve with Misha, but Anos stops her and asks Eleanor the name of the demon lord, and she answers Avos Delhevia. She then mentions the elite class of heroes named Jirga Canon. Hearing besmirching remarks from Anos, Jirga Canon member Ledriano Canon Asian and Laos Canon Jilfer appears before them. Immediately, Laos attacks Anos, who easily overwhelms him, and Ledriano stops any further conflict between the two. Anos and the students from the Demon King Academy participate in their first day of Inter-Academy exchange with the Hero Academy. However, the Demon King Academy students soon find out that the Inter-Academy exchange is in name only, and they meet with outright hostility. Revest, a third-year student at the top of his class from the Demon King Academy, is ridiculed by the students from the Hero Academy when he unsuccessfully tries to activate a magic spell. The students from the Demon King Academy are visibly offended by this treatment, but Anos' words turn the tables. Although Diego wanted to cancel the exam, the Hero class and Mino insisted on continuing it. Ledriano was also confident they'd win, as they still have it on their side. Round 2 of the Inter-Academy exams begin, and Anos immediately casts Jais, while the opposing Hero Academy team casts a Sla. An ominous murmur echoes through the Hero team's minds, demanding they kill the demons after Revest's deplorable defeat against Hein. Anos and his team battle with the students of the Hero Academy. Anos says he will think of a strategy if necessary, and clashes head-on with his enemies using his vast magic powers. However, due to a magic barrier called Digelia that is cast over the entire city, and a young girl named Zeshia who wields the Holy Sword and Hail, Anos' attacks prove to be futile. Anos and his team cannot develop their next strategy, but Misha proposes a plan to help them win. Eleanor reveals to Anos that she was created by a taboo magic spell that changes humans into magic. In exchange for being released from her confinement, Eleanor promised to figure out a way to dispel Gaviol. Anos does, and Eleanor instantly dispels Gaviol. Anos carries Misha, who is on the brink of death after being attacked by Diego, to an inner room of the temple. Eleanor is waiting there and claims that she is magic. She explains the meaning behind this and exposes the madness that has taken hold of the Hero Academy. 2,000 years ago, after Lei was murdered by one of Jirga's followers, he learned that 2,000 years in the future, Jirga had planned to kill Anos himself once he reclaimed his power as Demon King. Everything started 2,000 years ago. The situation suddenly shifts when the true identity of the man in the black mask, Avos Delhevia, is revealed. Even after 2,000 years, the wounds caused by the endless conflict between demons and humans have not been healed. After the battle, Anos converts Eleanor's source into his own, allowing her to maintain her power surrounding Zeshia. Later, Anos, Misha, Sasha, and Eleanor visit Anos' home and Anos' parents greet them. They were shocked by Eleanor's appearance, when they believe she's Anos' third wife and has 10,000 children.